You know, last week, Zach Osborne, the defending champion of 250 Supercross East in Monster Energy Supercross, took the win in Dallas, but it wasn't an absolutely dominant performance. Some other riders showed signs that they had the speed to mix it up with Zach, and now here we are, round 2 in Tampa, and they proved it. Great racing up front, and the ultimate battle came down to 2 riders who had yet to win a race in this series. This 250 wrap-up video brought to you by the good folks at Troy Lee Designs. Big thanks to them for coming on board. Great race here. Osborne did have a good start. He was right there, but so was Forkner and Dylan Ferrandis, and they were able to get the better of Zach, who admits he probably needs a little bit more work on these slippery, hard-packed tracks. This one was difficult. It really dried out a lot between practice and the heat race and the main, and Zach wasn't able to hit the marks and be quite as consistent as those two. Now, Forkner was able to bulldog his way through. He was really aggressive on the opening laps to get into the early lead, but as the laps clicked off, he admitted that he actually got a little tired from that dead, really hard sprint early on, and here comes Ferrandis, slowly closing, slowly closing. With a few laps to go, I suddenly realized, you know, neither of these guys have ever won one of these races, so it is going to be an all-out brawl for the win, especially considering that Ferrandis got to the rear wheel for the first time really on Forkner with 1 lap to go, and it was on. They actually duked it out in an S-turn before the finish. They went back and forth. Forkner says one of his weaknesses right now in Supercross is whoops, but he surprised himself because he was actually very strong in the whoops, and he said he knew if he could just hold off Ferrandis on the first half of that last lap and get to the whoops, he was going to use his speed there to get back away from him. That's exactly what he did. But it was sketchy. There was still a very difficult sand section, and it claimed a lot of riders tonight and also just caused a lot of mistakes, if not crashes. Forkner still had to get through there clean. He makes it happen. Now here's the deal on Forkner. He entered last year's rookie season in the West with a lot of hype. It was a decent season, but he didn't win any races. This year, he didn't know where he was going to stand. He wasn't even sure about 2 weeks out from the opener in Dallas if he was even going to be able to race. He had a really bad wrist injury in the offseason, and he was not even able to put together 15-minute motos at the Cowie test track. And then it really started to come around about 2 weeks before the race, but he's really only, that means, 3 weeks into being capable of doing 15-minute races. He says he was pretty tired down the stretch in this one, but he dug deep because, hey man, the motivation to win your first one, you don't need any bigger dangling carrot than that. Just holds off Ferrandis, solid second. Osborne is third. His 250 championship, you're not handing the trophy over to Osborne for sure. This is going to be a good one, and Forkner's down 5 points in the series, so he's actually right in it. Ferrandis did have the bad finish last week during that hellacious first turn crash, so he's got some work to do to catch up. And he actually said he was a little tired late in the race because he didn't really get all the laps in last week after that first turn crash. So just something he had to learn. It was really, as he said, his first round of the season since last week was a disaster with that early crash. So this championship, pretty wide open, and we got a triple crown coming up from Atlanta in 7 days. That's going to be a good one. We'll see you there. And again, thanks to the folks at Troy Lee Designs for backing the videos. There we go. See you in the ATL.